You know what people say? So the only day that you really want to try and test something is the one day that it goes wrong. I have a single internet connection here with around 1 gigabit, but now it went down to 0.029, and the only problem is that the upload speed is only 50 mbits up. That should be even okay to stream in 4K, but it's just collapsing. So I'm gonna give it a last try. I can see here that we're streaming, and I have a little display where I can see if we are streaming, if the stream is working just well or not. But yeah, as long as it's still green, I'm gonna continue speaking and I'm gonna continue doing it. I'm just gonna assume that it's gonna work, and if not, then we will just stop it for today. But yeah, let's give it a second shot. Why not? I tried over 1.5 years to get the live streaming feature for LinkedIn. So, and yeah, and I got rejected again and again and again, or ignored. I don't know. But this Sunday it worked. So yeah, why not? I mean, I always continue trying until things work out, right? So I'm gonna do the same with the stream. It's still looking green. I hope that the internet doesn't fail. For some reason, I cannot even use my backup plan that will be streaming with the cell phone directly. So let's just try to check and if it will work. So I'm just gonna go in 30 seconds over each slide. So if anybody else is joining just now, you should know that we're just gonna speed up the beginning. The stream wasn't working properly before, but we're gonna try again. Why not? Why not? So I can check if it's working again. Yeah, perfect. So yeah, if you write anything, I should be able to read it again. We're just gonna have a second try. And yeah, let me know if it's breaking up for some reason. Just let me know. Right now it's all green. So cool. My name is Nelson Javier Mejia. This is the first time that I'm streaming on Twitch and on LinkedIn. I've been streaming before on other platforms like Twitch or YouTube, and that's been quite a long time from now. That was the last time was around 4 or 3 years ago, and this time I really want to continue doing something that I love, but this time I also want to focus on more businessy topics. So this time it should work without a problem. I see that many of you already joined. So welcome back, and thank you very much for staying with me. Again, this is the first demo, and I knew everything can go wrong, so let's give it a try. All right, thank you. So I asked you what innovation methods means for you, and well, at this time we're gonna replies. I don't know if it had anything to be that the stream wasn't working fluently, but anyways, if you will go and check in Google. Oh, thank you, Studienberatung. If you will go and check in Google what innovation method is, the definition of an innovation method, you will find, well, no real information, nothing useful. So the important thing to know, now I'm gonna make this big again, I'm gonna change to this one, is that we define an innovation method just for today as a creative and structured methodology that helps us solve a particular problem. And if somebody comes and approaches you and tells you like, hey, I have this innovation method that solves any problem, like any problem, please believe me right away. You should just think to yourself, okay, this is not something that's gonna work. There is not a single innovation method to rule them all. It just doesn't exist. There are some big ones and good ones that can solve many types of issues, but not always the specific one that you need. So you should see an innovation method more like a person. And when you think about using an innovation method, you should think about that you're hiring this innovation method to do a job for you. Imagine it's an interview, right? So think about hiring the method at all times. The cool thing is that if you think like this, it's really easy to understand why you wouldn't hire somebody that tells you they can do everything from plumbering to I don't know, to programming, to perfect Philip, thank you very much, to I don't know, analyzing financial data to solve your specific problem. Why would you want to have somebody that can do and claims that they do absolutely everything, right? And if we proceed, so we want a method that we can hire, right? So, and this method, the way that we're gonna do it is once we know how or why we're gonna hire this method and which problem is the one. We're just gonna create a little concept, then we're gonna go ahead and test it, and eventually we're gonna share it with other people. Once we can say, okay, this worked or it didn't work, it doesn't matter. If you do, please share it with others, share it with me. It's gonna be super curious to see. Failing is not as bad. I mean, what is failing? Maybe you achieved what you wanted, but not in the time that you wanted. But yeah, but then again, in this, and at least in this particular session, we're going to just check the concept phase of creating a method. We're gonna check how to test it and how to share it. That should be, as you say in German, selbstverständlich, which means, it should be clear by now. And cool. So one very important thing is that whenever you hire a method to do something for you, and this is the only one rule that you should never forget, is that if you design a method, it should solve a problem. And the more specific you are about which problem it is going to solve, the more reliable it will be at solving this problem, the better it will be at solving this specific problem. So I'm just gonna ask you really quickly, so which principles do you think does a method have? On what is a method based? Just shoot whichever words you can imagine. I'm gonna be reading. So which principles do you think that are important for creating a method? What should we achieve? Just go ahead, and I'm gonna give you, I don't know, let's see, like 30 seconds to see what you write. So rather short answers. And I'm gonna start preparing the next phase. I have 30 seconds to prepare how the session continues. So which principles do you think are important for creating a new method? We're gonna go into whiteboard mode. So I will be drawing right in front of you. Alright, so don't worry if you don't know exactly what to say. There's nothing wrong. It's only right here at this point. As I said, nobody has defined this stuff. So cool. Alright, at least I got this prepared. Alright, let's turn the music down and let's check. Okay, cool. I will go directly into the whiteboard and then I can discuss the principles that I have been thinking of. Yeah, it's quite unfair because, I have been quite getting into this topic for years and I'm asking you to get in it for a few seconds. So we're gonna change now to OneNote. And I'm gonna show you, because we're gonna create a new innovation methods, one that popped in my head some days ago and that I believe that we can actually do for real. Emilio says the method of 5 things of why to get specific or principal problem you have. Okay, specific, Emilio, that's correct. So that will be one way of saying. By the way, if you hear me talking with somebody that is not in the chat, it's because we're streaming on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. So I might be answering to people that are not in the same chat as yours, so you don't wonder. But cool, so we're gonna change to the OneNote version. Okay, here you should be able to see the entire thing. And I'm gonna go to a specific place. We're gonna pick this one. We're gonna go here right in the middle. Okay, and we're gonna go a little bit to the right, a little bit down. Okay, so now you should be able to see the notes that I write. I'm gonna do a test. I'm just gonna mark a little frame so that I know where I'm drawing. And if yeah, okay, it's working indeed. Just need some refining. I just need to mark for myself where I draw because I'm using different PCs to do this, to achieve this. Okay, there we get it. Once we have this box in the middle, it's so good. Okay, cool. So there are 3 methods, three principles that we will use this time. So I'm gonna draw a little triangle in the middle. And the first principle that I have seen that is being used, for example, in the why or for example anything else, is that it just wants you to do synthesis. So I'm gonna write here synthesis. I'm gonna write it smaller. Whoop. And synthesis is what people also call connecting the dots. So many of these methods, what they do is they give you different informations that they want you to put together. As an example, you will have the SWOT analysis, right? Yeah, so they want you to connect the strengths with the opportunities, and strength with threats. They want weaknesses with opportunities, and also weaknesses with threats, right? So this is called synthesis. It's trying to mix two different elements that usually you will not think that that's how you mix them. The other part that is important is not only synthesis, also these methods help you with categorization. Okay, so we have here categorization. And categorization, the best example will be, for example, a business model canvas that is giving you different things to concentrate on. Sorry, it looks something like this, and then you have these different parts here. But yeah, and for example, when you have categorization, it means it's giving you the dimensions that you should be thinking about. By the way, hey Toby, schön dich wieder zu sehen too, which means in English, nice to see you again. And the really cool thing about categorization is that, as we were saying before, when you are hiring a method to do something for you, something specific, then this method is probably helping you. Whoop, I'm gonna move this thingy away. Whoop, press escape. I keep moving. Okay, this is definitely way more challenging than I would have ever expected, but still working. We're just gonna leave it. If it works, don't touch it. At least not for now. Not during the stream. Something I learned for today. Okay, whoop. And why it helps is because if you think about categorization, you're already defining. You're hiring the method to solve a specific problem for a specific industry, maybe a specific team and a specific situation. Then the dimensioning and the categorization is just thinking about those topics that matter. And this one is one that is difficult to just give an example specifically. Business model canvas makes you think in the financial way. What are the revenues, how money comes in, how money goes out, or the cost. It makes you think about value proposition. It makes you think about the channels, how you're gonna distribute your product. But you see, what they are doing is they're giving you different categories, and you're just basically filling in the gaps. Because what they already did before, the people that designed these methods, is they thought about the synthesis on the method. And the third part of this triangle, we have synthesis, categorization, and then you have visualization, which is exactly what we're doing here in this case, which is just visualizing, putting things together. Here I use a simple triangle, and I'm telling you, okay, there are these three logic things. I could have said show you these different